Hey, welcome everybody. Larry here, going to be doing the updated review on the OMAS Arte Paragon piston filler fountain pen. So, there's a lot of stuff going on here about the OMAS. OMAS was started back in about 1926. That was long ago. And then, OMAS is gone, is no more. And at one time, I was hearing that it was going to be saved and brought back, but it never happened. So I guess it's just gone, period. So if you can get your hands on an OMAS, I would highly recommend it. So let's look at the OMAS I'm talking about in question. This pen is about 10-12 years old and has been replaced by the newer pen with a more contemporary design. But I love this look. The classic OMAS pen and several variants of the classic designs are still around, and don't think they are still being manufactured, because I think they're gone ever since OMAS has left. I don't think that someone is taking over to continue the production of these fountain pens. The OMAS facility was located in
Bologna,
and that's in Italy. So my first impressions on this pen is the lightness. The weight material used, a light resin with no inner brass lining, the celluloid, the types of the resin, a type that was exclusive to OMAS, and the pens use a piston filler fill mechanism that does not employ brass or other metal parts. So that's pretty interesting. That's the history that I'm finding out about OMAS, because I try to reach in really deep about a pen and find as much information as I can. Now the pen feels comfortable in my hand, and I've used this pen. I've wrote with this pen for about 45 minutes to an hour, and I had no problems, no skips, no bad starts. Has a nice wet flow. And this pen was made for those who want to enjoy a great writing experience and truly enjoyable fountain pen. Once you get this OMAS in your hand and write with it, then I think you'll know what I'm talking about. This isn't just any run-of-the-mill fountain pen. This is really an OMAS, a fabulous fountain pen. The knob right here for the piston filler feels nice and smooth, and the pen fills without any hesitation. And what I do, I always expel a few drops of ink after I fill the pen. I've always done that with all my pens. I guess just a habit. As I read the history about this pen, the gentleman, Giovanni Abrate, hope I got that right, stated that this pen behaves like a vintage pen, and he found that unless the feed and collector is purged by releasing a couple of drops of ink, which I do, the heat from the hand, while you're holding the pen will cause the air inside the barrel to expand to the point that the nib will release a drop of ink. So he says you are forewarned. So that's his advice. He wrote a great article on the OMAS Paragon. So the credit goes to him. I look up the history. Now what's really nice about the pen, it has 12 facets on the cap and on the barrel. So, and the cap is fitted with 3 rings here on the top with a wider band in the middle, and then as you unscrew the pen, at the bottom of the barrel you'll find 3 more. It has this beautiful Greek motif that has become the trademark of OMAS since it was first adopted in 1926. And again, back to the end of the barrel, you'll see that same design, slightly smaller, but still the same design as you see on the bottom of the cap. Let's go to the clip for a little bit. The clip is a slim classic shape and has a small roller that in Italy that is named Ruzzolino, if I'm saying that correctly, but it's spelled Ruzzolina. So that little roller ball does have a name. So that's interesting that I didn't know. Let's go back to the same 3 decorations that are used on the cap are also on the barrel just above the threads. And like I said, it's slightly smaller, but I wanted to repeat myself to show you. It's larger on the cap and a slightly bit smaller just below the just above the threads. Here's the threads, and right above it is the rings, as you can see. And you can see the difference between the sizes. See? Really nice. The nib is a 18K gold tone medium, and it's supposed to have considerably amount of flex on this nib, and the nib is very smooth and has a generous ink flow, and that is a plus. Let's talk about the size of the pen. Well, this is the OMAS Arte Paragon. The weight of the pen, empty, was 20.3 Gs. The length capped is 5.58 inches. Posted was 6.94 inches. Again, the material is a resin. So, a beautiful fountain pen. If you're looking for detail, OMAS has their name right here on the band. And just look at the detail in the band. Beautiful. Love the color. And let's unscrew the cap again. And really, there's not much of a step off there at all. It almost goes right into the grip. And the grip, there's nothing that's going to be annoying to fingers. So, you know, I have small fingers, so it's fine. If you have large fingers, you're not going to have any problems with this pen whatsoever. I didn't have any problems with this pen, none whatsoever. Now, talk about money. It is a higher end pen, yes, but worth every penny. I'm just going to do a quick pen comparison. This is the Waterman Kareem, and you can see that the OMAS is not quite as long as the Waterman, but it's way more girthy than the Waterman. So let's just take a minute to look at this beautiful OMAS. Beautiful pen. Again, here is the turning knob for the piston. Nice, beautiful clip with that roller ball. And it fits well in the pocket. Nice and secure. And see if we can get a close-up on this nib. It does have OMAS on the nib and for medium. Beautiful detail on the nib. And then there is your feed. Really a nice, beautiful vintage fountain pen. I've been wanting one of these for some time. And I have another OMAS, the Mallord, and then I have another OMAS, the 360. Now the 360 is the white one that I did a review on, and that is just a cartridge only. And then my other one that I have has a 14K medium gold nib piston filler. But this one is just a real nice fountain pen. So let's do some writing here. Let me get everything set up here, and we'll get going here in a second. All right. And we'll do a few little swirls here. And we'll do a little wetness. And it does lay down the ink nice and wet. Okay, today's quote. We can't forget that, can we? And this is a proverb. Hope well and have well. No problems with the ink flows. It really writes nice and smooth, lays down the ink. It does everything that you need a pen to do and more. Yeah, I'm really loving it. I guess that's why I have 3 OMAS pens right now. Reverse writing. And you can get a fine line on reverse writing. It took a little bit to get that started, but after I got going, it didn't have any problems at all. So, line variation, downstroke, no pressure, just on light pressure. You can see that you do get quite a bit of line variation right there compared to that. So, this is my take on the OMAS Well, folks, that's going to wrap this up today on Larry's Fountain Pens. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope you hung in there with me all the way to the end. Again, the information that I pulled up on the websites took me a while to get it all together and processed, because I wanted to get the best, most reliable information about this pen that I possibly can to share with everybody. And for me, I learned a few things today about the OMAS. I think all of us did, on that rollerball, what it's called, what the folks in Italy call it. The gentleman that wrote this article was
Giovanni.
Pronounce the last name?
Abrate.
Yeah, Giovanni Abrate. So the credit goes to him. He's the one that worked real hard getting all this information down. So thank you, sir. But I, would look up different sites trying to get all the information I can about this pen. Some sites gave a little bit, but not enough into detail what I wanted. I wanted to get in, I believe, into the soul of a fountain pen, not just on the outside, because on the inside as well, that matters when you buy a pen. You can look great all day long, but it's on the inside that's going to matter. Is that nib going to function properly? Are you going to get a nice, smooth writing experience that you hope to? Are you going to get that nice, wet, continuous flow of ink that you love to get from a fountain pen? And whatever ink you're using, if you're using a shimmer ink or whatever kind of ink, you want to get that best possible pop that you can from the ink you use, because you want to express yourself. Well, you're expressing yourself with your inks, but with your pens, that's also another way one can express themselves when they're writing. And you can write long writing sessions, like I previously said, and your hands won't get tired. And it's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be a lot of fun. This pen is a high-end pen, but just my opinion, like I said before, it's worth every penny of it. And I have no regrets spending the kind of money I did on this pen. Yeah, I had to sell some pens and save. Yes, I always do. But, it was well worth it. And I hope that the pens that I've sold, the buyers will enjoy them as much as I did. So, folks, thank you for joining. And I got to have my little buddies over here putting their 2 cents in. But that's going to wrap it up for today. So, take care, everybody. And thanks for hanging out with me on Larry's Fountain Pen. I will see you later.